I want to ask Crystal one question about Intifada. Can you tell me about an Intifada that wasn't a violent uprising during the 75 years of this conflict?
Listen, you can support the non-violent parts of an uprising and condemn the violent parts.
No, but that wasn't my question. My question was, can you tell me of any Intifada in the 75 years of this conflict that hasn't involved a violent uprising? So that when somebody who is Jewish hears the word Intifada, they don't automatically think violent uprising, because they've all been violent.
I think that's fair. Piers, I think that's a fair point. Now, the first Intifada, I would point out, was overwhelmingly peaceful.
All right, so obviously this lady is crazy, right? This is what gaslighters think they can do. They think they can just say things and people are just going to consider them true. No one's going to check it out. History won't matter. Facts won't matter. Nothing will matter except for the fact that it was said. And if it get repeated enough times, then somehow it just becomes more and more true. It is completely crazy. And one of the things she said was that the first Intifada was overwhelmingly peaceful, she said. That's just not true. They just pull these things out of nowhere. That was over 5 years of almost nonstop violent protests that killed nearly 2,000 people on both sides. And all that started from something as innocent as a car accident that the Palestinians said was intentional. And the driver was Israeli, Jewish, and they were off to the races, right? My gut is that this lady really doesn't know what the word Intifada actually means. I think that she just supports anything that these people can possibly chant. In fact, not just that, I think she's one of those people that will support anything that a conservative is against or even might be against, right? So I don't think she knows, but I know she knows enough to know that these are not peaceful people. They're not in the streets. They're not taking over bridges out of some sense of brotherhood and love. I mean, these people, they hate Jews. It is that simple. And these apologists making the rounds on TV, I think they're just okay with that.
And just this weekend, we're talking about hundreds of my peers shouting, there is only one solution, Intifada revolution. Intifada is a call to genocide against Jewish people. This does not represent a minority.
No, but that wasn't my question. My question was, can you tell me of any Intifada in the 75 years of this conflict that hasn't involved a violent uprising? So that when somebody who is Jewish hears the word Intifada, they don't automatically think violent uprising, because they've all been violent.
I think that's fair. Piers, I think that's a fair point. Now, the first Intifada, I would point out, was overwhelmingly peaceful, but that doesn't erase the fact that there were violent acts. That's why I said, listen, if you're offended by the rally chants, that's okay. It's still free speech. But I think to smear this entire protest group of saying they have a violent intent, you can ask the NYPD chief who arrested protesters at Columbia. He literally said they were all nonviolent. So I just think this is such a clear attempt to distract from what's happening in Gaza and try to change a conversation and a debate that has been lost by those who would say, listen, Israel no matter what, and we're going to support them and ship weapons no matter what.
Well, I think, I would just say, before I come to Youssef, I would say this, that Vajahat, you do keep talking about peaceful protests, but actually, if you are chanting things like Intifada at a bunch of Jewish people, then they are not going to see that as a message of peace. They're going to see that as a direct threat on their lives. So they're not. That's not a peaceful protest.
Just look at what we have here, man. We have obviously a very progressive, virtue signaling woman. She's basically saying that a crowd that is chanting about the need for a Jewish genocide is a peaceful, well-meaning group, basically because they haven't genocided anyone yet. This is what makes them peaceful. This is what she believes. This is what she expects you to believe. And it's obviously, that's insane. But on top of that, it's just, I think, a pretty dangerous philosophy. And look, I totally understand free speech. I support free speech. I especially support their right to out themselves as racist psychopaths. I think it's good that they show us where they are, basically. But we cannot possibly allow these people to minimize and normalize what it is these people have as their goals. I mean, because that's just, we cannot do it, because when you consider what their ultimate goal is, it has nothing to do with Israel. We are the ultimate goal. The destruction of the entire West is the goal. The Intifada, it's supposed to be against us. And just so we're clear, intifada is violence, just so we're all on the same page. But I mean, it's remarkable, man. Think about it like this. When you think about this, these are the same crazies that will tell you that misgendering someone is an actual act of violence. And now here they are telling you that anti-Semitic chants are peace. I mean, come on. What planet can these freaking people possibly be living on? But that's just my take, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you haven't already, be a part of our growth. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. I'll see you in the next one.